Those were the appetizer indictments in the Eastern District of Virginia. They're going to come back. You're going to get appetizers shoved down your throat, James Comey and Big Tish James. But you're going to have the main course shoved down your throats with indictments in the Southern District of Florida for this lawfare and weaponization. I'm going to make damn sure that happens.
Oh, yes, baby! Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I was pretty upset when the cases against James Comey and Letitia James were dismissed. I was frustrated at Pam Bondi because I felt it was her responsibility to play the right chess moves, but she made a significant blunder. The reason the judge dismissed the cases, apart from the obvious fact that it was a judge appointed by Bill Clinton when he was president, is simply because the prosecutor was not lawfully appointed. And if you read the law, you can't really argue too much. But this isn't a sad video, because I just saw something that has filled me with hopium. The FBI director, Kash Patel, conducted an interview today and straight up told James Comey and Letitia James that we're not done here. Come here, boy! That's not a slavery joke. But Letitia James is going to be calling Trump Massa. Massa, please don't, Massa, after he throws her in jail. So here President Trump gave a warning to Comey and Letitia James to not celebrate too early, because it's not over.
Are you planning to replace Kash Patel as a
No, he's doing a good job.
This week,
Kash Patel? No, he's doing a great job, I think.
This week we saw those cases against James Comey and Letitia James tossed out. Do you still have faith in Lindsay Halligan?
Oh, she's great. I think she's great. They got out on a technicality, and you'll see what happens from here on. But if you look at the actual charges, I think anybody that looks at it very fairly would say, boy, are they guilty. So let's see what happens over the next week. You know, the court didn't say you couldn't bring the case, re-bring the case, or appeal the case.
That's a very important point. If the judge dismissed the cases with prejudice, it would have meant they couldn't be refiled. That's simply because the indictments are pretty clear-cut. She lied on mortgage documents and committed mortgage fraud, and James Comey lied to Congress about his involvement or knowledge of something to do with the Russia hoax.
So they have a lot of options. They're going to call the shot. I'm not calling the shot. But Lindsay's a very talented lawyer, actually.
So he said his Department of Justice has a lot of options. And according to Kash Patel, they have options. This is what Kash said on his interview with the Epoch Times.
Because it's pending in terms of appellate status and what we are going to do for the next steps, the judicial process can make whatever determination it wants, but we, the FBI, and our partners at the DOJ have numerous options to proceed, and we're executing on all those options.
So he's not talking specifically about the appellate process as an option. He's saying outside of that, we have options that we're going to move forward with. The perjury charge on Comey is pretty much a slap on the wrist compared to the major crimes he was involved in. I mean, this guy was involved as the FBI director in spying on Trump as a president. And of course, we know his major involvement in the Russia hoax. And even to this day, they're still perpetuating it. It's a grand conspiracy, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing RICO charges. It would immediately be the biggest RICO in the history of the country.
So we're not done.
Any detail available?
I would say stay tuned for right after Thanksgiving, and you'll see multiple responses, in my opinion.
Ah, Kash! This is what we want to hear, baby. TikTok. It's after Thanksgiving, Kash. We're waiting, baby. We have stayed tuned. Glued to the screen, just waiting to hear what happens. These words better not be empty, like Jesus' stomach during that 40-day, 40-night fast, which, man, earlier this year I fasted for 3 days and I thought I was gonna die. Lord Jesus, how did you do it? Seriously, Kash, none of the performative nonsense. We want to see action. We want to see handcuffs. We want to see accountability, arrest, just about everything. You guys probably know that's Mike Davis right there on Benny Johnson's show, Great Patriot, and his organization is the Article 3 Project. He essentially staffed the Trump DOJ, so he's fully credible. He's the news before the news. So when he said this, that was even more hopium in my veins.
Video where he's bragging. You know, he's bragging that you were wrong and that he was right and that this got thrown out. What's your message to James?
I would say to James Comey, I've thought all along you're going to have Democrat judges colluding to protect the lawfare Democrats, to protect the deep states. Those were the appetizer indictments in the Eastern District of Virginia. Those appetizers got sent back because someone said that the appetizers weren't good enough, but they're going to come back. You're going to get appetizers shoved down your throat, James Comey and Big Tish James, and then you're going to have the main
Probably
course
like
shoved
that.
down your. Yeah, exactly. You're going to have the main course shoved down your throats with indictments in the Southern District of Florida for this lawfare and weaponization. I'm going to make damn sure that happens.
Oh, yes, baby. This is what Benny should have said in that show. Mike, those words. That's my love language. You know, when women say words of affirmation and physical touch and quality time together. No, I want to hear about Democrats getting arrested. That's my love language. And Mike, you're speaking it. Let me kiss you right now, but not in a gay way, but in like a brotherly love way. Let me just kiss like the cheek, like the French do. Unless it's Emmanuel Macron, because he's probably actually gay. We love to hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Real accountability is coming. The slap on the wrist, all perjury, mortgage fraud, okay, cool. But when's that RICO coming? These people have committed more crimes than the Italian mob. They need to get the same level of charges. Man, that has me feeling all good, man. And mostly because Mike Davis said they're going to be doing this in the Southern District of Florida. That's been my biggest concern all along. You do all the work to write up a very powerful indictment, drag these crooks to court, and then the most crooked jury in history is assembled, and it goes absolutely nowhere when that jury declares that the individual indicted is not guilty. That's exactly how the Durham indictments of Michael Sussman and Ivan Danchenko went. The jury in the Michael Sussman case had a jury member who was family friends with his daughter. I've been on a jury. We were grilled on whether we knew anything about the case. And if we did, we were kicked out. Man, why was I so honest? Spent 3 days of my life going to court at 6 a.m. in the morning when I could have just said, man, I know the defendant. I know, Your Honor, I know this defendant. We went to school together. But Mr. George, he's 50 years old. You couldn't have gone to school with him. You're not the same age. Yeah, but I did, Your Honor. It was a great learning experience. And you'd even be lucky to get to a jury trial, especially with all the crooked judges around the D.C. area. In the Eastern District of Virginia, you're still in D.C. It's just where the federal employees live. If you look at the donation history of the voters in those regions, it's 100% Democrat nearly. That's positive number one. I think the second big positive for me is by introducing appetizers and then leading to that main course, you cause these people to spend a lot of money on lawyers. I'm sorry, I know it's a dirty strategy, but that's what they did on Trump. Retaining Alina Habba, Todd Blanche, and all these high-powered attorneys. They're not cheap. That's thousands of dollars per hour. This is a taste of their own medicine. Letitia James had to spend money on lawyers, and so did Comey. That's money out of their pockets. Besides, it's money they stole from us anyways. Letitia James is sucking up the tax coffers of New York, and Comey, when he was FBI director, probably did the same. We didn't make the rules, we're just playing by them. By taking it to Florida, you also have better federal judges, and they're less likely to dismiss the indictment. I don't know how that's going to work, how the DOJ plans to argue to establish nexus, because there are laws that say where you charge the person has to be where they committed the crime. But since Trump lived in Florida, I think that's the best argument. The crimes were committed by an organized national mob against a Florida resident. I think that's the best way to establish that argument. But we got to do everything in our power to make sure these indictments, these future main courses, do not end up anywhere near the DC Circuit Courts. Because whether it's Boasberg or some other burg, they're going to dismiss it. Let me know if you guys are feeling that good energy in the atmosphere. Thank you all very much for watching. God bless and goodbye.